Yes, everybody, welcome in, welcome in. So glad that you I'm really loud. Sorry about that. Glad that you're watching. Glad that you're
Glad
here.
glad you're yelling at
I
everybody.
guess so, yes. I'm still tweaking with the sound for us and figuring out what the right level is. So it looks like we got it good right now.
Yeah.
Last week I thought we were a little loud. Sorry if that was true.
I'll just make sure I don't yell at
Um,
the mic.
Listen, something really exciting has happened is that Betsy has been joining me pretty regularly on Good Day NWA. So if you've been watching Good
Mm.
Day NWA, either on this streaming platform or on the broadcast when we come on TV every day at 11 o'clock on KNWA, you've seen Betsy, and it's been really fun. I'm glad that you've been able to do it so consistently.
It has been a blast. I love that my schedule has allowed for me to come and hang out. It's a lot of fun to get to talk to all of the people, not just in Northwest Arkansas, but we get to talk to um, uh, people from around the country, around the world, and get to catch up with you and everything that's happening, and then catch up with you again on here.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure you're sick of me. Uh, but wasn't it cool today? We got to chat with acclaimed director Baz Luhrmann. A lot of
Baz
folks will know Baz Luhrmann. He
Luhrmann.
recently directed Elvis, the movie with Austin Butler. I remember him from Romeo and Juliet, the
Romeo and
Leonardo
Juliet.
DiCaprio
I
version.
wanted to have time to sit and gush with him
Right.
about so many movies, and he was exactly what I expected
He was
Baz
very
Luhrmann to
Hollywood.
be.
Obviously, he's pushing this new film that is. I'm excited. I am an Elvis fan. I
I
shouldn't
was going to
say I'm
ask
not.
you, are
I
you an
love
Elvis
Elvis.
fan?
I love Elvis, but I haven't been like I got to see everything Elvis has ever done. Like I'm
Hmm.
not. I'm a fan, not a fanatic. You
And
know?
there is definitely a difference.
Yeah.
I enjoy Elvis music. I don't
Right.
go out of my way.
Right.
But I'm very interested in this movie, especially after listening to him
Talk about it.
talk
Sure.
about it and explain all of this different that he was able to find footage of Elvis that people just have not seen before.
That's right. So what if you don't know the story, the movie is called Epic, EPIC, which stands for Elvis Presley in Concert. And they unearthed, he said 65 reels of
Mm-hmm.
never before seen footage um, that had been uh, stored in these salt mines that are near Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And they apparently it's a common thing. I don't know if it is anymore, but back in the day, we didn't have the same storage capabilities we have today. So they stored it underground where it would stay like a cool temperature, whatever. And I don't know if somebody forgot about it or like just time moved on and whatever, but they had heard rumors of it being
Mm-hmm.
down there.
Went on
And
a treasure hunt and
went on
found
a
it.
treasure hunt and found it and put it all together. And now it is in this film, which is a sort of take you behind the scenes of his second performance at
Mm-hmm.
his Las Vegas residency. So, anyway, fascinating conversation with a legend, Baz Luhrmann. That was today on Good Day NWA. But I think one of the really cool things, and you've noted this about the show, is that it's so eclectic. There's so many different things
Yes.
that we get to do, right? Yesterday we're deadlifting weights or whatever we're doing, and
Yes.
then today we're talking to a kid about his favorite toys that are coming out this year.
Right?
It's kind of fun.
I mean, and we've had day before or Monday,
Food?
we got to talk to all things theater. And
Yes, yeah, we had kind of a theater takeover. I feel like we've had barbecue on the show like
I
three
feel like
times in the last
barbecue
week.
has been is really big right now.
Everybody break your grills out.
Everybody
because-
is bringing out the barbecue, and
Yeah.
it smells amazing and it tastes amazing.
so good.
But the smell does kind of linger.
It's been lingering around, as particularly if
Uh-huh.
if you've been hanging out here at our studio the last few days, you've certainly probably smelled some
Definitely
barbecue.
had to smell some barbecue.
You had to wade through the the aroma
Yeah.
to get to work,
To
which
get
is
to
always
work.
problematic because then you're immediately hungry.
Well, and then I was just telling you, I definitely should have grabbed a snack between when we filmed and now,
Yeah,
and I did not.
You didn't do it.
And of course, I always bring Jason food for
Not
right
today.
about now, and today I did not bring Jason food.
that's because you've been here all morning.
My stomach's going to start talking to us. It might be as loud as I am.
We always check in. It seems like it's become our normal thing to check in about health stuff. Are we gonna?
What soapbox do I get to jump up
Yeah,
on
exactly.
today?
What are we gonna talk about today with health stuff? What's going on in the world of health?
Well, I did see
There we go.
this fun thing and kind of ran down a rabbit hole. A man running a marathon in jeans.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's wild, isn't it?
yes, ran the Austin Marathon, which I feel like is fitting if you're going to run a Texas marathon to
Yeah.
be in jeans. Do you run in jeans?
No. Why would someone, unless they're trying to prove a point or something? I don't know. What
So,
was this guy's
from what I
deal?
understood, he is actually raising money.
Okay.
Um,
Now I can get on
and
board with that.
He's supporting a brand called the Perfect Jean for its flexibility, but he is using it as a fundraiser for the Miracle Foundation.
Okay.
So he ran the
also, let me just
entire
say,
thing in
Those jeans don't really look like jeans. They're very stretchy.
They don't. So these actually they look more like
Kind of
where
leg-
they've tried to take athleisure and
Yeah.
step it up to where it looks a little more put together. So
Are
you
they
can wear it
made
to
of
work
jean
or whatever?
material?
It says it is, but it says they're super stretchy. It's a brand. The brand is known for its flexibility.
Hmm.
So the guy ran a 6-minute mile.
Yeah, he's really quick. Look at him. He's super.
It was pretty fantastic. But this ran me down a rabbit hole, Jason, because you run so much.
Yeah.
And studies are starting to emerge in. You don't get into the ultra marathon level.
I don't
But where
go that
there is
far.
a break point in the health benefits of running up to the marathon level and then running past that, and it affecting your red blood cells and actually becoming a negative thing because your red blood cells lose flexibility.
Mhm.
So we
So
could
that's
run down a
for
whole
ultra marathoners out there need to be careful.
Yes, need to be careful.
I've always wanted to do an ultra marathon, but I think like just one. Like I wouldn't like I love running,
Yeah.
but what's the breaking point?
Right. That is where ultra marathon is that point where it's like
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like you're torturing yourself
Yeah.
at that point.
It's almost like what else is going on?
right.
in
What are
your
you
world.
running away
Exactly.
from?
Yes.
These people, so I don't know if you've ever looked into, I know you have, Jason, but I don't know if all of you have
Right.
ever looked into the training for ultra marathons.
It's intense.
As they are running, they know what corner they're going to be at what time. They'll order a pizza.
Yeah.
They're running and eating a pizza at the same time.
I learned something interesting about ultra marathons, and this maybe it's just hearsay. Might have to look it up. But technically, an ultra marathon is considered to be anything that is over a marathon distance.
Okay.
So you could go 30 miles and say you ran an
And
ultra
say
marathon.
you ran an ultra.
Yeah, I know you're immediately going to look
I
that up.
am.
Although those distances, it's usually like 50 miles or
Mhm.
whatever is what people think of or where they think it starts. But I'm pretty sure there are.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is anything over a traditional 26.2 mile marathon
Hey,
distance.
noggin,
There
full
you
of
go.
knowledge. So, but I think that what you're talking about is a
The-
little bit more
The
intense than
big,
that.
big ones. The people who run the
100 miles or
100
whatever.
miles. Even the 62 miles.
And those are interesting to me because, like, you have a certain amount of time that you can do those in. So you
Mhm.
can literally, like, let's say it's a 50 miler. You could run a marathon and go to sleep and
Mhm.
sleep for several hours and
Mhm.
wake up and have breakfast and then go
And
run
then
another marathon.
Do it again.
Right.
Do it again.
But I think there's a misconception that you're running all of those miles in one go, and that's
right.
not
They
true.
usually are. They are not. They have teams with them. They are stopping for bathroom breaks. They are actually stopping to get meals,
Right.
refuel themselves,
Eat a pizza on the
eat a pizza,
standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona.
and then and then get to go again.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these races are run overnight. They
Right.
start at night because it gets so hot. They are so long.
Yeah.
You have to keep going for such an extended
Well,
amount of time. Just be careful out there if
You
you're
bring up
running
an
that
interesting point
distance.
of just like the breaking point and like the
Mhm.
tipping point, I guess, is what is maybe a better when it tips from being something that's good for you to something that's not so great for you. Right.
Mhm.
And there are several things that are just that way.
So many things. You can take almost anything into excess.
I mean, I think that old adage of everything in moderation
Yeah.
is still appropriate today, right?
Even healthy eating
Yeah.
can bump itself over
I'm glad you said that
into
because I ate too much 2 nights ago.
well, there you go. It's you were just balancing it out and making sure that you weren't moving into the unhealthy range
I think
of
that
healthy eating.
this is just real in the weeds. Everybody wants to know this. I'm sure you're sick of hearing me talk about it.
Edge of my seat.
My eating schedule and sleeping schedule are so complicated because I get up so early to come to work.
And then
And
you do so much
right.
in your day.
I do a lot and then I
I
go
don't
home.
know when this man ever
I
is
take a
home.
nap when I go home, and when I wake up, then I exercise. But what happens is at 8 o'clock when I come home from my run, or maybe at that point I've come home from my run and I've had a shower,
Uh-huh.
I'm starving. Like I'm ravenous.
Yes.
So then I try to fill the tank with all the calories. But when I get up again at 3 o'clock, the calories are still sitting there on my stomach. And I'm like, ugh, this feels so gross this morning, you know?
Yep.
But I mean, I get that it's just my body is not going through the same daily routine as a normal body should, I
Right.
suppose. Like not what we're built for necessarily.
Correct. Our bodies are not built to consume calories late at night, especially a lot of calories late at night,
Right.
and then be going right to bed.
Right. It's
In the countries where
nuts.
they do eat dinner later, they tend to stay up later as well. Their entire schedule has kind of
flipped.
shifted.
Yeah.
And so it's, the eating late and then having to go to bed.
It's weird.
And so your body just hasn't had time because it is trying to repair everything else you've done throughout
Yeah.
the day.
That's why
on
when you
top of
get here
digesting.
often in the mornings, like the other day we were doing an interview and the guy was like, "Did you guys both have breakfast today?" And I was like, "No." I couldn't think of eating food because my
Right.
stomach is full right now.
Which I pick on him about, but
Yeah. I do eat breakfast. I just
he
don't usually
does.
do it
It's just
until
his schedule
10:30.
is so different.
It's
And
weird.
when you break it down like that, it makes sense as to why you don't eat
Right.
breakfast because your body still has food in it.
Yeah.
You have not actually had the fast yet
Like
to break.
I'm satiated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I don't need to break my fast yet.
Whereas I eat my dinner
Right. At
at
6
like
o'clock.
5:30, 6 o'clock. So
Yeah.
by 6 o'clock the next morning, I'm
Yeah.
like, I am thinking
No,
about
I know.
food.
I know it's weird. Anyway, it's just real in the weeds about my own personal dietary habits. I'm sure everybody's fascinated by that. But I do think it's interesting to think about not just myself, but like morning anchors that everybody sees on
Mhm.
television come in at hours that you probably, I mean, I think for a long time there's a misconception that like, that they get there and then they go straight to the desk and do their job,
Right.
which is not true. Like they have been here for at least 4 hours
Mhm.
working on things and putting things together and reading scripts and all of that. So like when you see the morning anchors going on at 5 a.m., they got here at like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning,
Mhm.
right? Which is very early. All of our
Very
bodies are
early.
weird
And you
because of
you
that.
think about then having to, I mean, you can equate it to a shift worker because you have to change everything
Right.
about your schedule the day before
That's
and
right.
what life looks like. And if you want to do something, then in the evening when normal
Yeah.
people are going to do something in the evening, and that's changing up what your sleep habits are and how much sleep you're actually getting.
Yeah.
And it
It's a whole thing.
it's a whole thing.
Well, first of all, I wanted to say that on the weekends I have a much more normal schedule, and it's funny because my body goes straight into it.
Uh-huh.
Like I won't sleep much past 7 o'clock, but like that's 4 hours more than I usually
Yeah.
get, and I think it's because my body is just tired from all the missed opportunities for sleep during the week or eating strangely or whatever it
Yep.
is. So
It's got to catch up somewhere.
I catch up usually on the weekends. But also, I wanted to say that you brought up shift work, and my dad was he worked at a paper mill when I was young, and he
Mhm.
worked shift work. What always has always impressed me about my dad in working shift work is that his shifts changed. So
Mhm.
sometimes he would be on the day shift, sometimes he would be on the night shift, sometimes he would be. I don't remember. It seems like there were 3 different shifts, like evenings,
Yeah, there
day
was
and
depending
night.
on some of them had just day and night
Right.
and they were like 12-hour shifts and some of them had a mid
Yeah, a midday.
shift.
Anyway, the fact that like my schedule is pretty set 5 days a week and then the weekend, right?
Hmm.
But he would change from week to week and like
Yeah,
go in at 2 in the morning and then the next week go in at
right.
6 in the morning.
They
And I'm
have
like,
2 days off
what?
and then trade to
Right.
the opposite
Shout out to all the,
shift.
I guess, industry workers who still adhere to that kind of lifestyle because that's hard on a person and hard on a body. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of crazy to think about
Yeah,
what we do for money.
what we do. My dad did the same thing
Right.
at the plywood mill
Yeah.
and was so excited when he kind of changed over to the paper mill and bumped what he was doing and got to exclusively be on the day
One
shift,
shift.
which the day shift still meant he was at work at 5 in the morning,
Right.
and not home until
But
6 in
at
the
least you
evening.
can
But
plan your life around
yes,
that.
you have a normal
right?
sleep. Oh heavens, when he was on night shift, if we made noise while he
Oh,
was
I can remember.
sleeping,
Oh, same.
and our house creaked, we grew up in a really, really old
You,
house.
yeah, you're preaching to the choir now. I remember these days. Dad would lock the door,
Yes.
and if you ever heard him come out of that room,
Ooh,
you were in trouble.
you better hide.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, because he was coming out because somebody had
Somebody
woke him
had
up.
woken him up.
And he's already getting, and at the time I was like,
Mhm.
whatever, man. But now I'm like, I get it. You were getting limited sleep.
Yep.
Let me tell you that it's not in the same way. The kids know my schedule, right?
Yeah.
And they're usually at school during the day, so it's everything is good. The cats will drive me insane. And our little cat, Dodger, has learned how to open doors.
Oh no.
Yes. So I have to keep the bedroom door locked whenever I go to bed
Uh-huh.
because he will jump up and grab the bar and pull it down and just come into the room. And that's not the scary thing. The scary thing now is that they can get out. So like in the afternoons when I will
Mhm.
go running, I have always just shut the door and left the garage door open.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to lock that back door because we just find the cats outside, and they're not outside cats.
Right.
They think they are, but they are not.
See,
So anyway,
we don't have cats. We have dogs,
yes,
and they are on my weekday schedule. So if my schedule changes and I get to sleep a little bit later, they are not having
right.
it.
No, I know.
They still want to be up, and then they can't ever decide. So if I were to try to go take a nap during the day, they're like, "Well, I want to come lay down with you, but then there's somebody downstairs, and I want to go hang out with them because they might do something more interesting than you're napping. But I
Yeah.
really want to come nap." And they're back and forth and back and forth.
Something interesting I learned recently, and this might be true for dogs and many animals, but I read it specifically about cats, is that cats can tell time through smell, which I think is a bizarre thing. It took me a minute to wrap my mind around this,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like when you are there with them, they can, detect your scent,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then you leave and they're like, okay, this person, usually their scent fades and then I have like X amount of time before they will reappear and I will smell them again. And so
Okay.
isn't that
So
weird?
they have an idea of when you're coming back
Because like,
because of how long you're
I haven't smelled them in a minute. They should be coming home soon.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of a weird thing?
Animals are just so interesting.
I love it.
I don't know when somebody's coming home based off of
Yeah,
how
no,
much
I have
of
no
their
idea.
scent is left.
I hardly ever know when anyone is coming or going in my house at all.
And
And
we're-
everyone is like, we told you this, Dad. We
Right.
told you. And I'm like,
I think that's a
"Ugh,
dad. I think that's a dad thing.
That's a dad thing.
But yeah, we have so many scents going on in our house right now anyway because I have teenagers
Whew.
that,
Smells like feet and peanuts all the time.
right?
Yeah.
Feet and peanuts covered up by like 3 layers of
Of
Sol de
Axe?
Janeiro and
yeah.
like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The smells.
You got to smell good.
It's
You got to smell good when you're going to school.
Everybody
Fresh
gotta
and
smell
clean
good
in
to
the
go to
morning.
school.
You got to
Yes.
smell good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No, 100%. I could go down a rabbit hole of scents, but we don't have to do. I'm sure for cats who detect time by smell, when there are teenagers in the home,
They're a little
no wonder they're
overwhelmed.
crazy.
Yeah.
No wonder they're trying to break into doors
I
and
do
go out
not
through
blame
garages.
them for being
Like,
overstimulated.
It stinks in here.
Wanting
I
to get
gotta
away.
get out of here.
Let me out.
Let me out. Okay, stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We come back, we've got several things to discuss,
Mhm.
and I think we're going to have a special guest maybe join us a little bit
Mhm.
later in the program as well. So hang out with us. Several things that Betsy wants to bring to our attention that are coming up after this break. Stick around. Let me find my mouse. Here we go. All right, everybody, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So glad that you're hanging out with us. We're happy to be hanging out with you on Right About Now. And just a plug and a shout out for our streaming channel, 479 First. Obviously, you're already on 479 First if you're checking this out, but we've got some fantastic programming. Our evening anchors hang out every day. They do a show called In Good Company. You can check out most of the anchors. I think, in fact, all of us have our own sort of branded show. So Jackie House has a show, Ashland Brothers has a show. I do my Whispers in the Holler, which is another endeavor that I do, which is really cool. We just posted a new episode of that that's focused all on the Trail of Tears, which was fascinating to get to have some conversations with some Shiloh History Museum. We talked to the folks at the Museum of Native American History, which is in Bentonville. Got to go out and walk portions of the trail that still exist, which was really cool. So anyway, I would just encourage you to check that out. That's on demand. But other programming happens every day on the regular, like Good Day NWA. You can check it out on 479 First as well.
Yeah, if you can't catch it when it comes on,
That's right.
you
If you
bring
don't
it
live
up
here
there.
or, whatever, you don't feel like playing all the clips through social media, 479 First is your place to be. And it's all for those folks right now who have Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku TV.
Mhm.
You can find it on all of those platforms. You just need to download the
Yep,
channel,
it's easy
search for it,
it's easy to find in the search.
Yeah.
Download it, get started,
and get started.
and go back and see all the different things we've talked about.
That's right. Okay, so I guess another big development on that front on Good Day NWA is that Mackenzie Holzclaw, who was the host with me for, almost 2 years,
Mhm.
might call it 2 years, has moved to Atlanta. So she has left us here on Good Day
left us
NWA.
here.
But you have given us a great reason maybe to go over and
Yes.
visit Mackenzie, right?
So, not that I needed an excuse to go see Mackenzie because Mackenzie's fantastic.
Right.
Just on our own. And then Atlanta is a really neat area, but the bucket listers have just created a Golden Girls kitchen experience in Atlanta.
That's right.
So they have done this before in other places. It has sold out in Miami, in New York, in Chicago, San Francisco. So they have finally made it to
Hotlanta.
Atlanta. Jason, were you a Golden Girls fan?
I watched Golden Girls. It was always on. I can tell you a little bit about each of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't tell you any. I can't tell you any
super
in-depth
details. Yeah.
like synopses. But I think it was a different time in television because like nowadays,
Yes.
like you watch 8 episodes and it's all about one story,
Right.
If this was a sitcom, they did a different thing from
And a
episode
true
to
sitcom.
episode.
Every
Right.
episode was completely standalone.
Yeah.
There were some through lines
Right.
with characters, but it was more just based on that character's personality or that
Right.
character's job or where they were.
Like remind me.
something like
Okay,
that.
so I'm gonna probably mess all this up. Do you remember? So Blanche always had a different boyfriend.
Blanche
Is that
always
right?
had a different boyfriend. Yes.
Okay, Dorothy.
Yes.
She was like the anchor of the show. Right.
Yes.
So she's like the straight through character.
Right.
Rose was a little bit dim-witted.
Yes. Rose was the dim-witted is the best way to put it. Just
Right.
so sweet and so just
just
unaware.
Unaware, right?
Mhm.
No real common sense.
Right.
And then you had Salty Grandma.
Yes, Sophia.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Is that the 4?
That's your 4.
Okay.
That's your 4 main
I
characters.
remember their personalities.
Yes.
I remember their house, which I think they were in Miami. Were they in
They
Miami?
were in Miami, and I
Uh-huh.
was always amazed. So even when I was younger, and I watched this show when I was younger, but really when it came to like TV
Really, when
Land,
I turned 40,
and
that was the moment.
it was well before
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
But when it came to TV Land and it came on more regularly, like
Mm.
you didn't have to just sit and tune into the show.
Right.
I really started to get into it at that point.
Yeah.
And these women dressed every day, which they all still worked except for Sophia. She was home.
Right.
Um
Okay, there they are. I'm clicking through pictures of this
mhm.
experience, I guess, in Atlanta.
But so I look back at their outfits now and think about Miami and how hot and humid it is in Miami, and I'm
Right?
like,
Ooh, yeah.
"Ooh,
That is
wow."
warm.
But they were a group of really good friends that,
And they lived in the same house, right? They
yes, they all
shared a
lived in the same
dwelling.
house. They came together because Blanche, who owns the house, her husband passes away.
Right.
She needs a way. She wants to stay in her home, but she needs some help with the mortgage. So she brings on some roommates,
Uh-huh.
and the roommate list just kind of grows. And it ends up just being the three additional. And it's just the hijinks and shenanigans and
Of four
of them
ladies
living
living
their
together.
life. And it's so fun. But
Sophia is one of their actual mother, though. Is that right?
yes, it's Dorothy.
She's
She's
Dorothy's
Dorothy's
mom. Okay,
mother.
that's what I
In
thought.
real life, the person who played her was younger than B. Arthur,
Yes.
which I always thought was really cool.
I knew
once
that
I found that
I was
out.
going to say something about how they aged her up. I didn't
Yeah.
realize she was younger than B. Arthur, but
Yes.
I knew that they aged her up for
Yeah.
that role.
But one of the through lines that always came up was when they needed to discuss something or they had had a bad day or something was happening, they would sit in their kitchen
Mm.
and
And talk about it.
they would have a dessert. They would have a
Mm.
cheesecake, or they'd have ice cream, or they'd have something, or Sophia was cooking in the kitchen, and so this experience actually relies heavily on the kitchen. There are other parts
Yeah.
of the house that have been built, but it relies heavily on the kitchen. And there's different experiences, different levels of experience that you can get with this. Whether or not you want to do um, just a 90-minute seating with a welcome cocktail, or if you want to
Do they bring you
do a
cheesecake?
cheesecake flight. Yes, cheesecake is a major part of it.
Okay.
It is.
So they're bringing these kitchens around the states, and they are
Yes.
making a stop here in Atlanta.
Stopping in Atlanta, and it will only be there through May. So get out there quick. We're going to have to go see Mackenzie really soon.
Yeah.
Hope she gets unpacked real fast
Yeah.
because we'll be coming to
We're there
visit.
soon.
But I think that this sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, 100%.
It's reminiscent of like the Friends experience that's out there. There's quite a few of them.
Well, let's go down memory lane one
Yeah.
more time, and you and I think, talked about this earlier this week. Maybe if you were on the good day when I did that, I don't remember. But the truth is, Scrubs is coming back.
Yes.
So that is exciting, or it might be out now. It's coming out
It
this
started
weekend.
this week.
Yeah. So and yeah, the gang is back. And they are now the bosses, from what I understand,
Mhm.
right? So, like, they were interns. If you watched Scrubs back in the day, they were interns. Well, now they're back as the bosses. And there's also Vanessa Bayer is joining the cast.
They
You
brought
know
in a
her
few
from
new
Saturday Night
people.
Live.
Joel Kim Booster has joined.
Yes. So, fun stuff. Did you watch Scrubs?
Yes, I watched
Okay.
Scrubs, and Scrubs is one of our rewatch shows.
Oh, yeah.
So we have
Newbie.
we're those people. Don't at me. I know. We watch shows to go to bed at night. We set the TV
I
timer.
gotta at you real quick.
I know.
That's okay. I eat
You
my
eat
family
late,
out of house and home
right?
to go to bed.
But our bedtime shows have to be something that we have watched so many times that it won't keep us awake.
Right.
And Scrubs is one of those. So we're going to definitely have to go back and watch the reboot. Super excited to see these characters.
Yeah, and we're looking at some newbies.
come back.
Some,
Were you a Scrubs watcher?
Oh, yeah. Come on. That was hilarious.
It was.
And then when they put out the movie, you remember Zach Braff did the movie Garden State? And it was really
Yes.
serious, but it was also kind of
Mhm.
funny. I was like, I remember at the time I had a hard time getting my mind around the fact that the guy from Scrubs was now doing this kind of indie movie. I was
Yeah.
like, what? No, you're the funny guy. You're the funny guy from Scrubs. Why is
Right.
this so serious?
There are a few iconic characters. People that is the trouble with playing a very iconic role
Right.
is that then if they go to try to do something else, you really struggle to see them as anything
100%.
else.
Yeah.
Um,
You just see them as what they've always been, which is that's got to be a hard thing about a reboot, in my estimation, is like, because do you reboot and you just play the same character again? Obviously, it's been 20 years. Something
Right.
has had to happen.
Surely the character
don't
has
wanna come
grown
off
in some way.
For the guys, like, you don't want to come off as a man-child or even like a
Right.
creepy old guy. So, like, how do you advance that character with nuance and have it still be something that's endearing to the audience is a challenge for the writers.
Well, we're gonna have to tune in and see how they do it.
Got to tune in and see how they do it.
What are your rewatch shows? You watched Scrubs. What do you rewatch or do
I
you
have a hard
only
time
move forward
rewatching.
watch?
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I saw that.
Oh,
Move forward.
there
I-
are some things that I'm really
I'll pull
that I
up-
will rewatch.
I'll pull up to put on in the background. I'm not going to even
Yes.
say I watch
Well,
it.
and I think that's more what I mean. It's
Yeah,
like what is
okay.
your background noise? What's your go-to?
It would either be The Office or Parks and Recreation, those kind of mockumentary style shows. I will
Yes.
have those on, or Friends.
I looked up
oh,
several lists
let me
and
tell
those
you-
hit the top.
Let me tell you what tops my list.
Okay.
Frasier.
You know what? I actually really
Frasier.
liked Frasier.
I love Frasier. I don't know what it is about that show, whether it's they're so snooty that it is so silly. But I don't think I got it. Like when I watched it when I was younger, I would find some of the things that Niles did were kind of funny.
Right.
And it kept me like watching it, but I really didn't get all the jokes.
Oh, for
Now
sure.
I'm like, there are puns. There is every little scene that they do is some kind of play on something else. I think it's one of those shows maybe that you got to live a little bit
Yes.
and read and watch. You got to know what operas
have to have
or
some life
musicals.
under your belt
Yes.
in order to really get them.
Yes, because they make jokes and digs and like they throw in little puns all the time about random things that I wouldn't have known when I
Right.
was like 17. So anyway, I love that show. It's so silly.
That's a really good one, and it is interesting to go back and watch shows that we watched when we were younger and
Right.
really enjoyed. To go back and watch them again, we loved it then and had no idea what
Right.
all it was
Yeah, totally.
about. Even if you look at a show like Gilmore Girls, which is another like
Yes.
it is one of my favorites, and it is very much rewatched constantly over and over by a lot of people.
Is that the one with the gazebo?
Yes.
I've been there.
They speak so quickly and they
Oh.
throw in so many just offshoots to books, to music, to art in general, to other. You can't catch it all
Right.
just watching it the first time. And so you go back and you listen and you watch again and you are just dumbfounded by the amount of stuff that is thrown in there.
The show that Frasier came from was
Yes,
Cheers.
Cheers.
I also love Cheers. And
That's
I
a
also
good
get the
one.
jokes now that I
Yep.
didn't used to get. I just thought Ted Denson was funny and Woody was funny and
Uh-huh.
whatever, but I really I didn't follow the plot lines. That show was a little before its time because it definitely had through lines for the
Yes,
whole thing.
It did.
Which like we were talking about with the Golden Girls, was just usually one-offs back in the day.
Yeah.
I'll give you one weird one that I will rewatch from time to time,
Okay.
and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back with our guest who's joining us today. Twin Peaks.
Somehow that does not surprise me.
Oh my gosh, what a weird show, and I love it so much. It's so bizarre. If you've ever watched Twin Peaks, if you've never watched it, you can get the taste of what the entire series is like by just watching one episode. They're
Mhm.
all strange and bizarre and weird, and also just kind of beautiful. Anyway, that's a weird
Yeah.
one that I'll sometimes have on in the background.
I love that for you.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
I know you keep it all light and fluffy over there, and I'm like, let's get in with some hard
Let's
stuff.
do this. And I'm like, I want to watch Schitt's Creek.
I know. I want to watch a horror movie.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah, bump, bump. What a downer. Okay, we'll be back. Stick with us. We got more right about now coming up.
Two, three, four. Three, four.
All right, everybody, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Check it out. We have a special guest joining us right now. Aleshly Castro is going to hang out with us.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so we wanted to bring you on because you're
Yeah.
relatively new here in Northwest Arkansas.
Yes,
You have your own CTV show
I do.
called Beyond the Forecast.
Mhm.
When does that come on?
So that comes on from 12:30 to 1 p.m. Monday through Fridays, and that is live.
It's a live show, so you're
Yes.
streaming that live, as
Mhm.
whereas this show is taped
Right.
the the day before. So this is a Thursday for us, and you're
Yeah.
probably seeing this on a Friday. But you're every day, and you're taking us beyond the forecast. So what does that
Yeah,
mean?
what does
Are
that
you
mean?
giving us the forecast? Are you doing more than that? What's the deal?
It's a little bit of both because typically for the newscasts, you're only given about three minutes 30 seconds to give the weather, and sometimes that's really not enough time. I mean, us and the meteorologists will be talking for a long time in regards
Mhm.
to what's coming up, and so beyond the forecast allows us to go more in depth as to what we look at, the issues we go through when forecasting. We tell people what it's like forecasting and what we expect it to be, and honestly we're a lot more truthful and I feel like down to earth in a sense, because with the news you have to be very professional, whereas
Mhm.
here
Yeah.
we're like, come on guys, we don't believe this,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And so there's that portion mixed into it, but also just taking a deep dive as to what's happening across the country as well. Like not everything weather-wise is happening right here. More important stuff may be
You
out
mean
towards
things
the
aren't
west or
just
east.
centered around Northwest
Yeah,
Arkansas?
surprisingly, at
Wild.
least for here. And so a few days ago, I was talking about the blizzard that impacted, New York,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Boston, Rhode Island, recorded nearly 40 inches of snow in Rhode Island, which was so insane to
Yeah.
me. And so I
How
was
many? 40?
40.
close to 40. I think the official measurement was 37.8 inches
Goodness.
from the
Wow.
airport in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So that was an official measurement
That's
too.
huge.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I have so
Mhm.
many questions about weather.
So many.
When I was a kid,
Okay.
so obviously technology has advanced and evolved greatly.
Of course.
I just don't even remember the word models being talked about when I was
Mhm.
younger. It was just like, this is the weather.
This
Yeah,
is what's
that
Now,
is true.
I feel like the meteorologists are much more open with the whatever model shows this while the other model shows this, and we trust this one. Not so. Can you break that down for me? What does that mean? What is a model?
Okay, so weather models basically take the current conditions, and so they do in a simpler term calculations as to what it's going to look like in the future, and sometimes they do their calculations slightly different from one another.
Okay.
And so because of that, that's why you end up getting different results, and some of them could have biased where it's too cold when really it's going to be warmer than what it's saying, or it's going too warm. And we also have sort of a situation where we get a lot of southwest flow, for
Yeah.
example. And Dan always talks about that, but the models don't do too well capturing that because that cutoff low coming in from the west just kind of disappears over the mountains. But really, that's not the case. So,
So another so that's like a blind
Yeah.
spot. I feel like
Pretty-
right.
yes.
The Southwest flow, is that the same thing or is it different? I hear a lot of times like coming from the Baja region of California,
It's the
people will
same.
be like, that's kind of a blind spot because
Yeah.
you're like, we don't know.
yeah, exactly. And so, southwest flow is basically flow coming in from the Baja more often than
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Mhm. And
Why
yeah,
is that? Why are we in 2026 and we can't figure out what's happening? Is it just because it's so volatile that it like changes, or do we really not capture the data
that,
accurately?
but also it's so hard to kind of predict what's going to be happening in the future. I
Mhm.
feel that the models are doing the best they can. I
Mhm.
just think it's the thing for me where it doesn't matter how advanced computer technology is. You can't necessarily predict what's going to happen
Yeah.
in the future. And so it's pretty difficult that models are doing that to begin with.
Yeah.
So is it a little bit like the butterfly effect? It just takes one tiny little something being different and the whole thing changes?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And so that's why maybe a week out, you're going to see models that look entirely different from the other model because of that butterfly effect, where they take one thing, it's entirely different, and then it's like a bowling ball, essentially, just
Yeah.
knocking
Okay.
down pins.
Do you find that there's over time there's one model that works better for us here in Northwest Arkansas? Because I'm sure maybe that changes, or is it like yeah, we trust this model today, and tomorrow it might be a different model?
That's a really good question. I feel like I'm still trying to figure that out
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
surprisingly, forecasting for out here has been a lot more difficult than what it is back home.
Yeah.
Like, none of the models seem to want to agree on temperatures. Like, for example, it could say 65, we end up going to like 72 degrees.
Right.
And all the models do that. Now, I will say when it comes to long term, we tend to look at the Euro more than the GFS, because the Euro tends to capture the timing of storms a little bit better than the GFS, where the GFS speeds it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then in terms of short term forecasting, while this one updates hourly and so it doesn't go as far out, I like using the Her Rapid Refresh. It's a good one that updates every hour. High resolution models, they don't go as far out because they are high resolution.
high
They
res.
take
Yeah.
so much processing and storage that they
You
have
can't-
different
yeah, you can't go
time
out.
periods.
So you mentioned home. So maybe let's just do a deep dive into who
Yeah.
are you, where are you from, how do you find yourself here in Arkansas?
Okay, so I am from Columbus, Ohio. I tend to find myself trying to say born and raised, but that's not the case. I was raised there, but born in New York City. My parents moved to Columbus, Ohio when I was just 3 years old.
Okay.
So most of my memories are growing up in Columbus, Ohio. And quite frankly, I do love Ohio. I miss Ohio, the Midwest. It's just lovely and beautiful. And then around college, I did go to Ohio State. So I was a commuter student. I lived at home. Then I got to go to classes. That was very
That was
easy
nice.
for me. It was
Yeah.
nice. I'm like, okay, I don't have to live in the dorms. I don't have to worry about communal showers or
My
bathrooms or anything like
Oldest
that.
daughter is wanting to do that right now. She's trying to convince me to get to stay to live at home
Right.
and commute
Yeah,
to school, and we're kind of shoving her.
pushing her
My
out.
daughter couldn't want to be out of here
Out the
more.
door.
She's like, I'm out of here.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Bye.
See, I feel like now that I've graduated, I had that moment of like, okay, I've been pushed out the door. Now
Yeah.
I'm really exploring real life.
Yeah.
And so it's a 4-year difference than the people that start that journey out in college. But nonetheless, I'm really loving my 20s thus far and getting to move out here. And before here, I was working at Zanesville, which was an hour out from Columbus.
Okay.
And I was a weekend meteorologist there. So
Is that northwest, southeast? Where is it in relation?
it was east of Columbus.
east of Columbus.
Yeah. Yeah. So like 2 hours away from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Okay.
And then 1 hour away from
Gotcha.
Columbus. So it's
I-
kind of in between.
I went to grad school at Bowling Green State, so
Oh.
in Northwest Ohio.
Yeah,
right? So
nice.
I've got a little bit of familiarity with Ohio, but yes, Columbus, obviously centrally located
Mhm.
in Ohio, and then you went to go work. Where'd you say Zanesville?
Zanesville. So
Yeah.
I drove an hour out
So you
east.
stayed where you were living.
I stayed at home and then I
Goodness.
commuted an hour to work on the
Wow.
weekends. Yeah.
With the time frames, because we were just talking earlier about the time frames that most meteorologist anchors have to be at the studio, and then
Yes.
to add an hour of a
Hour of your
commute
commute,
Yeah.
onto those times. That's some dedication right
And
there.
it was, especially at night, because over there, our night show was from 11 to 11:30 p.m. So I wouldn't be getting home until just before 1 a.m.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. When you're a weekend meteorologist, do you still? People might not know. Do you still come in during the week? Do you just go over there on Friday, Saturday,
So,
Sunday?
Fun fact, I was actually part-time there. So
Okay.
I only had to go in during the
Okay.
weekends, but I
Okay.
did cover from time to time during the weekdays whenever
Yeah.
one of the meteorologists took off. But
Yeah, they would call you in.
it was very handy that they gave me part-time, because they were like, okay, we'll give you this as a part-time job once you graduate college and you get yourself settled and you feel like you're ready to grow
That's
your
nice.
wings.
It's a nice little
Yeah.
stair step.
Exactly. I know. And so I really appreciate the fact that I was not under like a 3-year contract per se.
Right.
And then being able to move off.
Yeah.
So why weather? Why meteorology? Was there an event that was interesting to you? Is the science interesting to you? What brought you here?
I just think it's the science. I mean, growing up, I always watched the Weather Channel and like hearing Jim Cantor's voice or Stephanie Abrams. Like
Uh-huh.
I grew up watching them. They're the people I grew up watching. And so I just think I've always been fascinated with weather. I've never had an event per se that stuck to my mind because I will say Central Ohio, for the most part, is pretty tame when it comes to weather. You'll
Mhm.
get your severe thunderstorm from time to time, maybe a tornado once in a blue moon, but it's not something that is as extensive as other areas, like down here in Northwest Arkansas. And so I got inspired by watching the Weather Channel growing up, and I decided, you know what, this is what I'm going to do when I go to
Nice.
school. I decided
Yeah.
that in like middle school,
Yeah.
and I've
That's-
stuck with it since.
That's amazing to pick
know
it
what
in
you
middle
wanted to
school and
be
know
at
what
that
you want to be
age.
and actually go through it and still
I'm still
really
trying to
enjoy
figure
it.
it out.
Yeah.
I know. I'm changing all the time.
Okay. Favorites. Let's talk about your favorites. Favorite movie.
Favorite movie? I don't think I can pick an all-time favorite movie, but I think what comes off the top of my head is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
such a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Loved it. Was a journey. I was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
you-
totally a journey.
Never get bored.
That's when we
watching a
were
single
also
minute.
talking earlier about rewatching things
Uh-huh.
and catching more the next time.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
definitely a movie that every time you watch it, you get a little bit more
Yeah.
out of it. You had missed
There's
from
so
the
much
time
going
before.
on. You can't
So much
capture it and
happening.
You
just
can't
watch
get
alone.
everything all
All
at
at
once.
once.
Right. You gotta watch
Yeah.
it again.
And then I have TV show,
Yeah.
Modern Family.
Oh, okay. So
Good
my wife
one.
watches that. It's always on.
Yeah.
That one is like I don't put it on, but we were talking about that earlier.
Yes.
It's just always on in the background.
It's on.
Yeah.
I can, and in fact, yesterday she turned an episode on, and I was like, "You just watched this the day before." I was like, "Are we rewatching the same episode
Yes.
again?" But
Yep.
anyway, yeah.
Yep.
She missed something from
I
when she
guess.
watched it the day before
I
and
guess
wanted
I
to
was
watch
like,
it again.
I can tell you what's going to happen. She's like, "You don't even watch this show." And I was like, "But I was here, and I know that Cam is about to do this." You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite sports team? What, the Buckeyes?
Probably the Buckeyes. I'm not a big sports person, but the Buckeyes, when they're playing something, I'm
about-
tuned in.
Columbus has an NHL team.
Yeah, the Blue
The
Jackets.
Blue Jackets. Thank
Yep.
you.
The
Yeah.
Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've gone to a couple of those hockey games. I do
Yes.
enjoy watching, but more of a casual watch, not
Don't-
a.
Yeah.
Don't they skate so fast? I mean,
They
whenever
do.
I don't feel like TV captures how quick they move around the ice.
I was just literally talking about that with some people when watching the hockey for the Olympics. I'm like, we're
Right.
watching it through the TV. You
I
have
know.
to be there
You've
to
got to
really,
be there
to
Yeah.
really feel
To
the
see
energy.
How big and how loud they are and
Yes.
how
I mean,
fast they are when they
slapping
hit the
puck
wall
and like
and
them skating, like those sounds. You
Mhm.
don't hear it
Yes.
on, when you're watching it on TV, but when you're there, you're like, oh my gosh.
yeah.
I don't know what I would do. I would like just curl into a ball in the corner if they were skating at me. It'd be
Yes,
terrifying.
I think
Yeah.
I would.
And I also went to the outdoor series where they hosted
Oh,
it in the
yeah, yeah.
Ohio Stadium. I went to that, and that was
Oh, I bet that
full
was
stadium,
a really, really neat
getting
experience.
football but hockey energy all at once.
Yeah.
To watch a hockey team, it was once in a lifetime experience.
So I've been to Columbus maybe a couple of times. It is full on Buckeyes all the time there.
Oh yeah.
It's the talk at the coffee shop. It's everything. Am I
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 100% correct.
So you were there for a while, and I can only imagine you were just kind of like bathed in it every day.
Mhm.
Pretty much, yeah. Growing up, wearing your Ohio State sweatshirts and gears and jerseys. And then coming here, this is like really my first time where I'm like, wait, I'm in a different college
Right,
town.
it's also red, but it's different.
But it's different.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe football is not their strong sport. I get that. But at
That's
least
right.
there's basketball, and I'm understanding the baseball environment here. And I'm like, wow, at least
Yeah.
there's something to look forward to
There's
here.
always something to look forward to.
Yeah.
The program at the University of Arkansas has great,
Just
great stuff.
amazing.
Maybe
And-
we'll get there with football one day.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That's the
Maybe.
hope. Are you? How far out can you predict? Like, we're on a warming trend right now.
Yes.
But then I hear that next week it looks like it's going to be volatile. Who knows what's going to happen? What do you say?
I think it's easier to catch an overall pattern maybe 2 weeks out.
2 weeks out.
But that
Okay.
overall pattern can have very major adjustments with
Yeah.
times. And so I think our good confidence is about a week out.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that seems right.
And temperatures, I would say, go up to 3 days out.
Okay.
Because let's say, for example, on Sunday there's going to be a frontal boundary, but what that basically means, either we're going to get warm temperatures, really warm temperatures, like maybe up into the upper 60s, or it's going to be really cool if that boundary's to the south of us and those temperatures could be in the 50s.
Okay.
We don't know the exact positioning of where it could
Right.
be.
So you know that event is coming, but not
Yes.
exactly what's going to happen. there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know
Alright.
too. Like when I'm looking at the app, to keep in mind.
Yeah.
3 days out, you got temperatures. A week out, you kind of know.
You have an
Preset,
dial it
idea,
in.
but
Yeah.
it is, so it really is because it's changing. Every day you look at it, it's a little bit different, but now that makes a little more sense as to why.
Yes.
As it gets closer, you know actually what's going to happen.
Yes, and sometimes we like to look at not only the model runs, but you can look back at the previous runs as well to see what has changed going forward.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us. I feel like
Yeah.
we got to take a quick break and we'll come back and wrap it up. But thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Always good to get to know fresh faces.
Mhm.
Obviously, the show is every day beyond the forecast. What time?
12:30 to 1 p.m.
12:30, 1 p.m. right here on 479 First. All right, stick with us. We got a little more coming up after this quick break.
2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Right About Now. We had a lot of fun chatting with Aleshly, learning a little bit more about forecasting, stuff that, you know, you
Yeah.
don't get to know until you kind of peel back the curtain and look behind the scenes.
Right. Getting to talk weather with a weather person.
Yeah.
And get to know just a little bit more about her too.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Moving here, I mean, it's got to be exciting. I remember the first time that I moved away from home. You know, for me, it was going to college. It was like 3 hours away from home,
Yes.
but it was a big deal, right? So that's always
Yeah.
an exciting time.
That's and how neat to be in the weather field and go from somewhere that has relatively calm, predictable weather
Right.
to somewhere like this where the terrain
It's
just
volatile.
really affects everything and we never know from
I couldn't even tell you what the
obviously
weather's going to
she
be like
knows
today.
more. Obviously she knows way more than we do,
Right.
but listening to her talk and listening to the other meteorologists we have here
Yeah, they're pros.
talk, it really starts to make more sense as to why things change daily and it is so hard to know what's going to happen
You're
here.
so right. You're so right. Okay, so thanks for tuning in, everybody. We always love hanging out with you whenever you watch the show. And just a reminder, tell your friends, download 479 First. That's our streaming channel. You can get it on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, Amazon Fire TV. So
All the things.
all the things. And then you can catch Betsy and I almost now most days of the week on
Most
Good Day in
days.
WA. We got an exciting week of shows ahead. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And like we say every week, you can't be right about everything, but you can be
Right about now.
We'll see you next time, everybody.
One,